Welcome to another edition as E2G Sports Network presents
Really?
our NFL Super Sunday edition, if you will. February 13th of the year 2022. We have the Unsung Sports Grid. Obviously, a big game tonight, Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles, California, between the home team Cincinnati Bengals and the visitor LA Rams playing in their same stadium. We'll get into that a little bit, little quirks here and there. But let's bring in Buddy Andre because Buddy Andre's this is my opinion, a much needed vacation for you. Welcome back, buddy. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Got a good night's sleep. Good to be home. Okay, I'll just say that to be nice. Definitely caught some sun. I'm a little darker. No, good trip. Good trip. Much needed. Thank you very much for everybody who held the fort down and allowed that to happen. And again, it was my dad's cruise from January. You know, I got to roll it over and I had to use it in a certain time and all the money. So I made sure that, I did that. We won't share everything that I told you yesterday. You know, I really didn't go for a facial or anything like that.
Some things need not be said.
Yeah, nothing like that. So,
well, hold on, sorry, guys.
What the heck are you doing?
I didn't turn my ring off. So pardon me, this is live radio and TV. Let me turn my ring off. No, I'm glad you're back. Glad you're safe. And like you said, you look relaxed. It's much needed with all you've been through personally. And if people following on social media, you've been through some stuff going on. So I'm glad you got away, number one, and I'm glad you're back. So kudos to you. Good to see you. Little brown skin looks good, man. Looks good. And let's get ramped up for today, right? Because you got a big game.
Pasty White Buddy will be back in a week, but
it doesn't take long. Anyway, let's get into this matchup, shall we? Obviously, 32 teams started this journey, and then there were two: the Bengals, the Rams. One team wasn't expected to get here early in the year. The other team, as we went along the season, the Rams, kind of with the acquisitions. This is where they wanted to be. This is where they had to be. Okay, but you and I talked about matchups all year long and what basic football comes down to, Buddy Andre, and it is won and lost in the trenches. Today's game, that's where it's going to be won. It's plain and simple. It's fundamental as it sounds, as cliche as it sounds, buddy. You look at 5 important names, and they may not jump out at the page to me. They will to you because you're a X's and O guy. But 5 names to watch today: Jonah Williams, Quentin Spain, Trey Hopkins, Hakeem Adeniji, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Isaiah Prince. Who are those guys, and what do they have to do today?
That's the should be the 5 starters today for the Bengals along the offensive line. They got to protect Joe Burrow against many different pressure packages that they're going to see today from the Rams. And, of course, there's that badass man, number 99, the baddest man in the whole damn town, Aaron Donald. And I think this is a week he barely comes off the field. He's had 2 weeks to rest. This is everything. You know, it's the only thing he really needs to cement his career after only being in the league like 9 years.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's a Super Bowl championship. He is just that much of a difference maker. But these guys really, I think they got to run early. Let them be physical. Let them come off the ball and see what happens. And then they can get, invigorated. The first 5 to 7 minutes of a Super Bowl, I mean, just think of what happened in New York a few years ago. Mm-hmm. First snap to Peyton Manning over his head for a safety. I mean, there's nerves for everybody. It's a different day. It's a different warm-up. It's a different halftime. 45-minute halftime. Like, the team that's really practiced all this stuff and prepared for all this stuff is good. And the Rams might have an advantage. They have a few players who were there in 2018.
Yep.
Kind of can say, hey, yeah, freaking halftime sucks. Make sure you get some food in you and hydrated and you're ready for the second half. And you made a great point yesterday that I knew nothing about SoFi Stadium. Please tell everybody what you said because I am not stealing your spotlight.
Well, the $5.5 billion stadium, SoFi, as you know, is enclosed. It's in there. It has an obtuse roof, or not. I can't remember the name. But the sun can shine through the roof. It's not really protected. On the sides of each end zone, there's open spaces so you can actually see the skyline. The stadium is below ground because of the closest to Inglewood, the LA airport, LAX, to alleviate some of the sound. But $5.5 billion stadium, buddy, and there is no air conditioning. And right now, this is slated to be the warmest, hottest Super Bowl since they've been playing them. And that could be a big factor for some of these guys who aren't used to it. Some of the guys who are, just the oxygen. You look at a team on a 13, 14 play drive beating up 8, 9 minutes of a clock. That could detriment the defense.
You're going to see hands on hips today. You're going to see a lot of hands on hips from one or maybe both teams in the mid-third quarter, because they're going to come out of that super long break, start playing again, readjust their bodies, and that's when it's going to start to take its toll on everybody. And it's going to be interesting. But those 5 guys up front, they got to work in tandem and be ready for the stunts up front. And where is Aaron Donald? No way he is. Where's Miller? Do they line him up at ends? Do they line him up together? And I think this kid, Greg Gaines, inside, I really followed him after he left the University of Washington. I really liked what he did at the combine, and I went and watched tape. And he's a really underrated good player. And he's kind of like that fourth guy that nobody really knows. But watch out for Greg Gaines, because he's a guy who can put pressure. And he can also be the guy who will stuff the run, on third down, with send the other 3 guys in that NASCAR package you have and keep him back and hold him back. If anybody wants to post comments or questions, we got a comment section. Feel free, man. This is all about everybody. So
yeah,
let's go.
Absolutely. Buddy Andre, Johnny Sunchips here on Super Sunday edition of our E2G Sports Network, as we present to you our final NFL installment, at least game-wise, for this 2021-2022 season. But you mentioned the offensive line and the woes that the Bengals have had all year long. I mean, they sort of withstood it. Tennessee game notwithstanding, when Burrow was hit 9 times, I think part of that was on him not getting rid of the ball. Against the Chiefs, they did some short stuff, a couple of short drops, a couple of screens over the middle. We saw Mixon be pretty valuable out of the backfield on some of that short stuff. The offensive line, though, can they become what they haven't been all year? And that's for one game, put it together against this team, because Kansas City's not a great pass rushing team per se, but this Rams team can get after you. You're looking at a Cincinnati team. Can they change their identity for one game? For 60 minutes, can they do that today?
If you really scheme it up and you have a good coach along the offensive line, you can maybe deodorant. It can be deodorant for one game. That's the key word, deodorant. Like, cover it up, man. Cover up the smell. Do it for one game, 60 minutes, the biggest game of the year. That's where coaching is going to come in. What, do you got a bat in your house or something?
No, I have a note I want to. I scribbled a note down.
Oh, no. Where the hell did you hang it?
No, I had it over here. Dude, I'm all over the place. I write stuff down.
I love it.
Anyway, so you're looking at a Rams team which is ranked first in pass rush win rate. Okay, Cincinnati ranked 30th in pass block win rate. So put those numbers together. Here's the thing I'm looked at. Cincinnati is 25th or worse in pass blocking in every position on the field offensively. Running back, tight end, wide receiver, offensive line. And that's something that could rear its ugly head today.
Yeah, you need a back to contribute. They go to P. Ryan usually in the third down situations. He's the best of the group in pass protection. And I tell people this all the time. People will talk about running backs. And if you can't pass block, you're not going to get on the field. You're not. It's the most important thing you do. More important than you being able to run a 4.40 and run away from everybody. If you can't pass block, you're going to find yourself on in the inactives or in the bench or playing special teams.
Right. That's a good point. You talk about that with what's going on. Brian Damaris chimes in. Is it supposed to be 90 degrees in LA today? Somewhere around there. Happy Super Sunday to you, Brian. Thanks for chiming in.
Happy Super Bowl Sunday, Brian.
Yeah, baby. Big day, big snack day, big commercial day. At halftime looks like it's going to be banging as well. So 2 teams, buddy. LA, 2 cities looking for their first championship. The Rams, of course, won in St. Louis. But you're looking at 2 cities, and I haven't been to the Midwest. Do you know anyone from Cincinnati? Because they seem like a rabid fan base. If you like, you and I don't have dogs in the fight, how do you not root for Cincinnati? Because of the fan base and because they're kind of like the underdog thing.
Yeah, Cincinnati is actually one of the few places I can't think of anybody I know. No. Such a snob, aren't I? I don't know people from Cincinnati.
Well, but you know plenty of people in Detroit.
Yep. People in Detroit, people in Philadelphia. Yeah.
I want to get back to one thing before we go on to other matchups with the offensive line of Cincinnati. Run the ball, get these guys firing out, and develop and establish some physicality right from the get-go. Agree or disagree?
Yes, and mix in a screen or two. And do it at Donald on that side. If Donald and Miller are on the same side, run it there because they're trying to get to the backfield to hit Burrow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting matchups. So you talk about – let's go to the coaching first. McVay is looked upon, and I think he has advantage coaching-wise today because he's been there before, and he's kind of sold out and done things as well. And I think, as far as experience, he may have learned from what he's done. I give the coaching advantage to him, even though on the other side, the coach is 3-0 in the playoffs. His first 3 games he's won. Yep. But I think McVay's got it going on, and I kind of like the intangible I like is the Rams, not necessarily the home team today. They're on the other sideline. But they're comfortable with this, buddy. They've been down this route. They've established things. They've been there. So jitters, yes, but a team that's going to come out and probably look more relaxed are the LA Rams, in my opinion.
I don't know about that because I really feel like Cincinnati's playing with house money. They've gone into 2 pretty tough places to win and beaten good teams. And when I look at the Rams, they're at home. The pressure is kind of all on them. And they're probably going to not have the larger number of fans there.
Good point.
And I think that's tough. And I mean, granted, they spent through the ass to get here and gave up draft picks and, brought guys in along the way. I mean, there is a lot of pressure on them, yes, but.
Yeah, I agree totally. You can say Stafford got the monkey off his back, but if he loses today, the doubters come back as well. So his legacy will be cemented today, and he will be no longer labeled as a loser. Right. James Lake chimes in, to your point, Cincinnati wasn't supposed to be here. House money, I get it. But he also says, who do you guys see the pressure being on the most? Has to be Los Angeles. They put all the chips in the basket. He thinks that pressure affects – does that pressure affect the game at all? Absolutely.
Do you get kind of that NBA super team feel with them?
Yeah, I do.
Like they kind of got the Brooklyn Nets thing going on, which is great. Yeah. Oh, I heard that their breakup this week is awesome.
Oh, dude, they're a
crumbling out. Ben Simmons shooting. Glad that fell apart quickly. God, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
I know, but I think it has a little bit of that too. And let's look back to 2001. The Pats Rams. Pats were the underdog, not supposed to be there. The Rams were the greatest show on turf, and I was there, buddy. I covered that Super Bowl when we were at the Score. Those Rams, it was all LA. They were just showing up and going to win. That's how it was.
Yep.
I'm not sure the mindset of the players is the same here, but as far as team concept, who should be there, who should win it, and who shouldn't, I think it is lots of similarities there. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, there is a lot of similarities, and especially being at home and a dome team, and kind of like that team was a dome team.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, they weren't really a team that traveled outside and played well. We saw that in 2000, how that cost them the year in between their Super Bowl win and Super Bowl loss, with the loss at New Orleans in the wild card round. This, I got to see the mentality. The mentality of the Cincinnati team is really good. They're tough, and their young players are tough. You can look at a guy like Jamar Chase, and he's tough. He's built for this. God, I can't wait to see Chase against Ramsey today.
Right.
And Ramsey's going to try to get in his head, and we'll see what happens.
Let's get into that matchup because you have Ramsey against Chase, and you got Chase is a flavor because of what he's done in the offensive rookie and the year he's had, which he started out slowly, by the way. Jamar Chase was not 3 or 4 weeks into the season. You would have never thought this would happen. And he's rebounded and put together a fine rookie season, maybe one of the best ever, certainly at the position. But then you have Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, who, I mean, you're talking about the 2 secondary, and I'm using air quotes here, receivers. That could be dangerous. So Ramsey's got to lock Chase down, or it could be a long day.
Don't forget Tyler Boyd. Do not sleep on Tyler Boyd. because I don't know if they have a guy in the slot who can take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If Ramsey is going to be that matchup outside Chase, and maybe you say, Chase, hey, you're getting like 6 targets today, but keep that guy out of the play. We're going to run other stuff. Stop short, keep him. We run something over the top with him with Boyd, hit some plays. Very possible. It's good matchup there in the secondary, especially, Eric Weddle from the retirement home playing shuffleboard.
Jesus.
To the defensive signal caller today. And Eric Weddle is one of my favorite NFL players of all time. I love that guy.
And he's performed well.
It hurts me I'm cheering against like one of my – there's so many guys I love on both these teams.
Right. Yeah, there are a lot of good guys. And you talk about Weddle, who's – I mean, he's going to – to hear him, dude, I'm just having fun here. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl because I'm going back to what I was doing before this. Yeah. So he's loving this. And he's playing really well. He really has solidified that cover since Fuller's gone down. So I mean, he's gone above and beyond the call of duty, so to speak. But you mentioned the Cincinnati Bengals demeanor and attitude, and it stems from one guy, the guy in the center. I mean, you call it Joe Cool. I think everyone responds, and he kind of carries that. If you're looking at an opening ceremony to like an Olympic team and the Bengals are a country, he's walking in with the flag and everybody's following him. You know what I'm saying? I think they all just, dude, this guy's your leader. He's established. Let's go. And I think he instills that winning attitude, and they want to win for this guy, quite frankly.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. I mean, even his second year, he's an Ohio guy. Just how much it means. Him driving home to give people tickets, get people out to the game. That was so cool. Yeah, I love the way he carries himself. He's got a moxie and a confidence about him. And that's what you need to be. Because, I mean, you're pretty much the CEO of a company when you're a franchise quarterback.
No question.
There's a guy who owns it and signs the paychecks, but who do we talk about? We talk about Aaron Rodgers. We talk about Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert now with the Chargers. These are the guys who are the CEOs of these companies.
Right. One thing that stands out to me, and I think it has to be shored up, early on in the playoffs, it was the red zone offense for Cincinnati. But you're looking at a Cincinnati team that has scored 5 offensive touchdowns and 12 field goals. McPherson has 55% of the offense point-wise. If he's going to kick 4 or 5 field goals today, I think the Bengals lose.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
If you're kicking field goals today, you're losing. You almost want – you know who Zach Taylor wants in his headset is Staley from the Chargers.
That's right.
Zach, go for it on 4th down. Yeah, it's 4th and 18. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Just throw it up to Lamar,
Maybe I'll have that. James Lake chimes in again, and they talk about the pressure or the X factor, and he talks about Stafford being the X factor. He plays good. The Rams probably win. He throws a couple of picks, different ball game. Yeah, he's been bailed out by past couple of weeks. The Tampa Bay game, he was bailed out a little bit. The whole team was the offense because that game was not as close as it should have been, number one. And he throws that pick last week with the Niners, and you're looking at a Niner team that's up 3 points with the ball with 9 minutes left. So the defense has bailed Stafford out.
Yes.
But both of these quarterbacks have been susceptible. They haven't played dynamite the postseason. So I expect that to change today with both teams. But you talk about the pressure on Stafford, buddy. His legacy is cemented. 8 losing seasons, right, as a quarterback. Mm-hmm. That has to change today. And you look, he has more than 8 losing seasons, right? Only 5 quarterbacks have been in the Super Bowl with 8 losing seasons. He's the 4th quarterback to start a Super Bowl in the first season with a new team as well. So Stafford, that loser mentality coming over in LA. And if you listen to you and I during our shows he did, I wasn't a believer in him. He had to win a playoff game. He's done that. But he has to win this one too, and he's feeling the pressure.
Oh, do I hear a bell ringing? Yes, I do. Ding, ding, ding. Random questions with Chips. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
All right, question for Chips. You are having a barbecue in your yard on a beautiful summer day. You're allowed to have a one-hit wonder perform live at your party. Who is it?
Jesus. That's a tough one because there's been many one-hit wonders. The group AHA had Take on Me, but they had a couple of follow-up hits.
Yeah, they
Where
did.
the first one that comes to mind, and I'm looking at the video, is the men without hats when they have the big shindig in the back, the
Oh,
safety
that would
dance.
be badass.
Bring on the men
That
without hats. I'll supply the
that is.
Geritol,
Oh my
wheelchairs,
God,
whatever they
that is.
want.
You win the day,
Safety
dude.
dance, right?
Oh, by the way, that's who I'm supporting today.
There you
I just
go.
gave it away. I was hiding, but
The
yeah,
safety
men
dance.
without hats is a great answer. You can
Yeah,
dance
baby.
if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
We're
Because
done,
if
so we
friends
won't
don't
know.
dance, and if they don't dance, then they are no friends of mine.
Right. That's it.
And the video is awesome, where they're walking
Video.
through the high grass and
Yeah.
just dancing
Yeah.
like a wizardry type thing. Yeah.
There you
Wow,
go.
you hit a grand slam on that one.
And disclaimer, I have no idea what these questions are going to be. This is totally
Yeah,
generic.
no, I totally hide these from you. I didn't even tell. I was talking to Kelly Murphy this morning. I didn't even tell her what I was going to do for questions. I said, they're good ones. Trust me. I'm topping Idaho. That's for sure. And I tried to find somebody from Idaho on the cruise. No luck, dude. I'm telling you, people from Idaho don't exist.
By the way, as I'm everywhere I'm driving now, I'm looking at the license plates, and you and I talked about ever seeing a license plate from Idaho. And every time I see one that looks like it's not from around here, I put in reverse just to make sure, go around, double check. Still no Idaho. Obviously here on the East
Driving
Coast.
around blocks to find an Idaho.
Right? Yeah.
Every one way is to find an Idaho license plate. That's great.
Yep. Lots of time in my hands.
That's our contest here at E2G. You can get me an Idaho license plate picture. We'll send you something.
Yeah, definitely. There's product there.
It may be Joe Foran. We'll have him an autograph of a self-portrait of himself.
Yeah.
Send it out.
I love it. All right. Are we? You want to start? You want to stop there? You're going to throw? You want to?
No. Back to football. We'll,
okay.
I've got. We'll mix them in.
Brian Damaris agrees with James Lake. James Lake II. I love that, James. He said Stafford is going to throw a couple of cookies the Bengals' way. That's a consensus. But, I still think we may be looking at a Stafford that's kind of every dog had his day. I think he's really exercised some demons. Now, could he throw a couple of cookies? Yeah, he's prone to. But I think you're going to see a lot of Henderson, you're going to see Michelle, and you're going to see Akers. They're going to use all three of those backs. I think you're going to see, you may see a lot of ball controlling drives by the Rams offense, and that'll take a little bit. With those three guys in the backfield, and Henderson is really good on third down, and he's a truck.
Yeah, I love him at Memphis. I'm big into those Memphis players.
Yep, those three guys will take a lot of pressure off of Matt Stafford. He has got everything around him that he needs to succeed. Bottom line. So I'm not expecting, could it happen? Yeah, but I'm not expecting Stafford to become the Matt Stafford from 3 or 4 years ago in Detroit.
So with his wide receiver play, Higbee is down. Blanton is more of a short yardage, different type player.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of the guy's name now? Bryson Hopkins is the backup tight end.
Yeah.
He came out with fanfare last year. He's a receiving tight end, kind of like in the mold of that kid from Cleveland, who's one of the top tight ends. Not Njoku Hooper, but the other kid, the kid from Florida Atlantic, I believe. Just kind of one of those, down the field. I think he could be just in there for pass situations. So you may hear the name Bryson Hopkins make a big catch today.
Mm-hmm.
And just remember you heard it here first. So
yeah, definitely. You're always looking, and it's a lot of times you see the quote unquote relatively, I'm not going to say obscure, but not the guys you expect. Someone just steps up to the plate that you don't normally see in games like this, and that could be one today. I think Samaj Perine could be one as well. Am I pronouncing it right? His name?
Samaj Perine, yeah.
Samaj Perine. He's
all-time you're Oklahoma guy.
Yep, absolutely. And I think back to that Chiefs game when he scored that touchdown. You look at I'm not sure if you and I talked about it, but it may have been on our Going Old School show this past week where we talked about the big plays in the Chiefs game, the championship game. We talked about the Tariq Hill, the out pass at 4th and 1 from the goal line, 4th and 1 at the end of the half. But Perine's his touchdown, Samaj's touchdown, really set the tone for Cincinnati before that to go in to make it.
Yeah, because you go into the halftime a little bit. Dude, that was a huge flip in momentum to see the way that happened, but that's reliving something that's already happened. I'm curious with the Higbee out, if it's a tight end. Skoranek They drafted in the 7th round under Notre Dame. You probably know him because of Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Plays special teams. He's a gunner on the punt team. Really good gunner. He's got a future there. He contributes some in the pass game. But because of his body type, is he a guy you can move in and play that Higbee role, and maybe he surprises some people? He's a guy I keep an eye on. And I think Van Jefferson is one of the best route runners in the whole NFL. His dad, Sean Jefferson, played here in New England with the Chargers, with the Falcons. Just a pro's pro. He's a lot like his dad. He really is.
Right.
And he's a guy who can go out there and make some plays for you. And, of course, my future baby daddy. I'm having a sex change just to have Cooper Kupp's kids. That guy is amazing. He is one of a kind.
Yeah. But, and you listen to him talk X's and O's, man, it's like, wow. You're talking about a student of the game of football.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp is that guy, and he's had a great season. Here's one matchup, buddy. I'm going to go into the lines again that I want to see. Is NFL Man of the Year Andrew Whitworth against Trey Hendrickson, number 91, the beast off the edge for the Bengals. And that's a key matchup because I think Hendrickson has to get pressure on Stafford today to at least commit him and coming from his backside. And that's I love the matchup. I love Whitworth. If you didn't see the speech on the NFL honors, look at it. And it's hard not to root for this guy. But that's a matchup I want to see because he's in probably his final season. He's the only player who's played for both teams. So if you're looking for a storyline there, but how do you see that matchup playing out? Because Hendrickson's a stud, man. He really is, and he's getting better.
Yeah, he had a tough game against Taylor Lewan. He didn't get a lot. And when they really dialed up the pressure, he was better against Pace and the Chiefs, and later on was starting to hit. They just got to be good with the pressure. Him and Hubbard, I got it here. Kareem has to come in and spell those guys, keep them fresh, especially on a warm day. You want a good rotation. You want guys hydrated. Hydration is so important. You're going to see some guys sitting today with cramps, man. You're going to see it happen. I just got that feeling.
Yeah.
You got Hill and Reader inside. That was a steal getting Hill from the Giants. But them inside, and if Tyler Shelvin, who was one of my favorite players coming out of the draft last year, is active this week, there's a big body you put in the middle. And, just force him to take on a double team to free up Hubbard and Hendrickson. That's going to be the key. So these rotations are very important.
A guy named Mike Hilton, Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I have something. I'm worried about their outside corners being able to hold up. I don't worry about Hilton in the slot. I think he's a steady presence.
Right.
Apple, Awuzie, and what is Trey Flowers' role in this game? Is he can play some safety, but you have great safety tandem back there already. So is he a guy like you do with a Kyle Duggar here in New England, where you match him up maybe on a tight end and just take them out of the game? He's a good tackler, contributes on special teams. You probably all remember him from his time with the Seahawks. This isn't the Trey Flowers who played with the Patriots. This is another. Right. No why, Trey. So this is an interesting guy to have on your roster to be able to do a lot of the little things.
Laura McEachern-Ferrer, one of our comments, says 2 comments. She said Whitworth is an impressive guy. Totally agree. It's a guy you want to sit down with. Just a great guy, gives back to the community. She also says, and we talked about it, dehydration galore today. That's you look at all the stats, buddy. That's the big factor today, right? I mean, I think we should really talk more about that. Or if you want to chime in about it, we welcome your comments. I lived in LA, and it's a dry heat, but when you're looking at an open air stadium with just no air conditioning, just the openings at each end zone, I mean, a ball control offense it's gonna wear on a defense today, no matter how good they are. Could that be the great equalizer for the Bengals against the Rams defense?
Just to tire them out, get guys out, get guys IV in, get guys water, hands on hips. Those are the signs you're going to be able to tell. They're going to be able to tell from the coaching booth. Yeah, we got a couple of guys with hands on hip. Let's go. Let's keep running the football. Let's go. Keep running left. We're going to gain 3 to 4 yards on this play. Let's do this. Let's put ourselves in 2nd and 6 so they can't dial up the pressure. It's going to be huge.
Right. The one thing I like about Stafford, and you talk about fourth quarters, We're bouncing around a little bit here, so we apologize, but it's kind of what we do. He's in the fourth quarter of this season. His completion percentage, which is 72%, his yards per attempt, which is 8.7% per attempt, and passer rating at 125.9, and this is all including the playoffs, is tops amongst all quarterbacks in football. We saw Eli Manning have a year like that, didn't he? When he was a great fourth quarter passer.
Yeah.
Didn't they win a Super Bowl that year?
Yep. Winning when it mattered because they went on a run. And
clutch and late.
Like you can say Cincinnati has this year gone on a run. And they lost games to San Fran and Green Bay in overtime. They were both great games. Mm-hmm. And that was what showed me that they had the resolve and ability to be here. Oh, ding, ding, ding. Ding.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Right. Random.
Here we go. Question. Biggest DB you've ever met in a locker room just doing your job?
Oh, Jesus.
This is so easy for me, but.
Biggest DB. I'm not sure if you would. Wow. Covering the league covering back at the score days for the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest DB. The guy that was most cantankerous was Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, you had to know how to handle Mike Vrabel. You really did.
He would go to his locker and he'd face his locker, and then we'd go over so he'd know we're there, and he'd turn around. And I remember Albert Breer talking about using the word schematically.
Schematic, yes.
Right, and he goes, and Vrabel goes, well, listen to this guy with his schematics. So we know he didn't like the media. I mean, he's right up there with Lawyer Malloy, with again media versus us. But I'm not sure he was a DB, but he was the most cantankerous guy because he was just like, okay, Mike, we're just doing our job, really, seriously. So I'm gonna go Vrabel for that aspect. Go ahead, tell me.
I can remember him. Do you remember the day he was throwing NFLPA bags around to different players, like right over everybody's head?
Yep.
Remember that? Like blue Gay. And Randall Gay turned around and he just like fired it and just about missed somebody in the head. Yeah, he was up there. Dude, there is nobody on this. If I could fight one person other than the lady I sat near on the plane yesterday. Oh, my God.
Is it Vrabel for you?
No.
Oh, go ahead.
Remember how much me and Corey Dillon didn't get along?
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
We hated each other. He was such a douchebag to me. He went out of his way to be a douchebag to me.
And not only that, he would walk around the locker room just talking it loud, using his loud voice so everyone heard it. You know, that disingenuous sort of passive-aggressive ripping the media while no one was in front of him. You know what I mean? Sort of like that. Yeah, that's sort of like that D-bag move. No question about it.
There was a painting. Remember where the offensive lineman used to play dominoes down in that corner? You know,
right.
Mankins, Light,
right.
That kid Ryan O'Callahan. They play down there. Billy Yates, your favorite. You love that guy. You wanted to just squeeze him.
Who?
Billy Yates, remember?
Oh.
He like had no neck. He's like a coach now. You always said, I just want to go over and squeeze him.
Yeah.
You got to ask Jarvis about him. He's doing coaching somewhere right now in the league.
Go ahead.
There was a time I was standing at a table looking at a painting there, and all the room in the world behind me to walk. What does Corey Dillon do? The 6 inches that are between me and the table, he walks there. Like brushes. He's like, oh, excuse me.
Oh, Jesus.
I was just like, what a piece of you are, man.
Yeah, right.
Like, really? Dude, you got 6 feet behind me to walk in this huge locker room, and you need to do that? He was the worst. He had a long run against the Jets. The last game in the old turf.
Mm-hmm.
At the stadium. They lost to the Jets. He had like a 50-yard run, and he ran out of bounds. He could have cut back in. And when we got in the locker room, he's talking to Chad Jackson, and he's like ripping him. He's like, had you blocked like this, I could have done this. And I'm like, dude, he ran out of bounds. He tapped out on the play. Like, it was not Chad Jackson's fault.
Right.
Like, just like things like that. Just not a good teammate, not a good dude, not a good person. I don't want him to die, but I hope he gets hit by a bus.
Yeah, just maim him a little bit.
Yeah,
and fortunately for the team, they were able to corral that, and he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, 1 year, but he turned it. He was so rude to Tom Curran, who's such a good guy, because Tom Curran wrote a good article about Heath Evans, who I was close to.
Yeah,
and he was like, Tom Curran went over to talk to him. They said, "Oh, why don't you go talk to John Riggins over there?"
Really?
You're just such a jerk.
Yeah, just shut up, dude. I agree with you. I
Everything's
forgot. I never really dealt with him one-on-one, except maybe for gangbang with mics in front of him. But I just remember the condescending tone he used to use. But I like that. That's a good choice with you, because that's a true douchebag. I think Vrabel, not more of a DB, but very cantankerous and very kind of standoffish and kind of like a little arrogant. But you see that through his coaching, so maybe that's secret to his success. If you I'm going to bring up a name, Ray Ventrone. Remember Ray Ventrone?
Yes.
And how small he was, and we'd walk in and be like, we'd say, how is this guy playing football?
And then his brother was a player on the team too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bubba Ventrone. Yeah.
Who's he coaching with now?
No, he's the special teams for the Colts.
Right.
Josh McDaniel hired him and then left. He's one of the guys that Josh McDaniel hired. He was a really cool dude. The other side of things, there's some interesting people, good people that we've met too.
Yeah, we'll always if you catch us reminiscing about those days, hopefully it's good entertainment for you guys. But pardon us if we just kind of divulge into what Buddy and I. It was a great run we had, and so much fun every Wednesday and stuff like that. And hey, if we ever are famous enough to write a book, then we'll have some little stories in it.
Papa Gino's Pizza we'll be writing about.
Yeah. Exactly.
Everybody hunkered around a table waiting for the Papa Gino's to get there. Those pepperoni.
Oh my God, it would come in and
anyway, you going for a second feeding, and the media staff watching you like, what's he doing? He's getting more.
Dude, no one would eat dude. I was the veggie guy, so no one would touch the veggie pizzas. So there'd be tons of pizza.
True. Yeah,
that was when I did. But yeah, I kind of probably overdid it a bit, but it was fun. I don't feel it. I have no ill will.
When you start taking shit to go,
Yeah,
exactly. A little bit to worry about,
Huh? Did you ever take stuff to go?
No. I never laced my pockets. No.
I didn't do that. I think I didn't.
No, I got corralled into doing Patriots playbook a couple of times when John Rook was out. Mike Parente and I go back and listen to it sometimes. I actually picked the Giants to win the Super Bowl that year.
Did you?
Yep. I said the Giants were the team that could beat the Patriots. The Titans and the Giants were the two teams that scared me the most that year.
Right. Interesting. Buddy Andre, Johnny Sunchips, Super Sunday edition of our E2G Sports podcast. We are the Unsung Sports Grid. Obviously, your comments are welcome here. Obviously, live on StreamYard. We appreciate all the listeners, all check-ins, and obviously anything you want to say. Tell us who you're rooting for. Give us your little intangible. Talk about the halftime show if you want, because I think it's going to be epic. I lived in LA when all these guys were coming out back in the 90s with your Snoop Dogg's and your Compton and your Dr. Dre's. Mary J. Blige's in there. I don't know why. Obviously, well, Eminem, I like Eminem too, but he's not the LA prodigal son in this respect. But I think they're going to roll out the carpet with all this stuff for the.
I think there'll be more guests than you think. I think there'll be more people up there than just listed.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
have a feeling we're going to hear "Regulate" by Warren G. And
Ice Cube's going to make an appearance. Feeling. Ice Cube's coming out, right?
Yeah.
There's a rumor that they're going to have a hologram with, what is it?
Eazy-E?
Huh?
Eazy-E?
No. Who's the other dude? I'm just drawing a blank on him. Oh, dude.
Google
California. Who knows? I'm drawing a blank.
That's Dr. Dre.
Anyway. Right, but I mean the singer. I think it's someone else though too. Oh God, he's
Billy Ray Cyrus.
No, Biggie Smalls. Who's the other guy? I don't know. I can't think of it.
No, well, somebody chime in. Somebody.
Facebook user, Tupac Shakur. Thank you,
Facebook user. How could we forget Tupac?
No, but there's supposed to be a hologram of him during the show, so you're going to see a lot of drone action and stuff. So anyway, thank you, Facebook user, whoever you are, bailing my.
Yeah, type your name in. We want to give you recognition.
Certainly, absolutely. One guy today too, 14 quarterback pressures in the playoffs. Von Miller is going to be eating this up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he is.
Facebook user, it's Sarah, your sister.
Oh, my lovely sister Sarah. Hi, nieces. I got to tone down my language for them. All right, so Von Miller, part of this group here, when they go to that Russ package that I was talking about, Donald, Gaines, Miller, and Floyd. That's a really, really good group.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Speaking of Von Miller, little stat about them. Von Miller and Aaron Donald had the highest career postseason pass rush grades in the Pro Football Focus era, which has only been since 2006, with the minimum of 200 playoff pass rush snaps. I think it might be 2016. But Miller at 91.5, Aaron Donald 90.3. So you got two of the perennial postseason studs in here. I just, if you're Cincinnati today, and you can stop one or both of these, buddy, which one do you stop? Or can you? Who do you neutralize first?
I'm neutralizing Aaron Donald because I think middle pressure kills anything, because it gets you off the spot, it gets you out of the mesh point. Middle pressure is key. That destroys everybody. That's Brady's kryptonite, and that's a lot of quarterbacks' kryptonite. You get them off their spot, you get them out of their drops, 3, 5, 7-step drops, and make them become, outside the pocket, making throws. And that's when they change pass routes. Guys are running different pass routes than what you expected. It's how mistakes happen.
Exactly. Laura chimes in. I need to practice my crypt walking this afternoon. And then she comments, bless you, buddy. So there you go. Gesundheit from Laura. Oh, she's right on top of it. Let's get to the coaches for 1 second. You have the Belichicks. You have the older guys. But now you're seeing that new breed, the young stud coordinators. See one in Miami. So, a lot of coordinators who are young, offensive people, just the young guys, because whether it's relating to a younger sort of player or the game changing. You have two of the younger quarterbacks now in the Super Bowl. They obviously are the youngest head coaches in the history of the game combined to get to a Super Bowl. Is this part and parcel, buddy, what you're seeing about the new wave of coaching? What to expect now?
It's pretty much that Shanahan tree. And a lot of the guys are from that 2013 Redskins crew I've been reading about. It's producing. It's going to be one of those where you're going to go back to, when Holmgren and Gruden and all those guys were on the same coaching staff together, and they show that picture of how these guys all branched off. I think this is going to be a similar thing. Is there a prop bet on how many sizes too tight Sean McVay's pants are going to be today?
That's a good point. And the shirt, too. But there's going to be a bunch of hair product. Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of stuff in his hair, so I don't know who's going to endorse that. Yeah. I mean, but if he showered with Gatorade, not one speck of that, not one little strand of that hair is going to move.
No,
not going to do it.
It'll be non-Jimmy Johnson. It'll be crazy.
Exactly. Let me ask you a question about McVay. He's the 5th head coach to advance to a Super Bowl twice in his first 5 seasons. If he wins a Super Bowl today, is he the best Is he the best coach in the NFL right now?
He's still got a guy in New England who's won 6.
Right.
He moves to number 2.
Okay. I mean, not historically perspective. I guess you're not going to equal Belichick.
No. But I'm still if he had won that one and this, gone back with a different group, he would be. I think that's a big accomplishment for a coach when you can go back with different groups or different teams.
Right.
Do what Andy Reid has done. Do what these great coaches have done. Dan Reeves. There's a guy who should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, no question about it. No question about it. I want to read a couple of little tidbits on quarterbacks for each team. We'll start with the Rams. Matt Stafford is one of 5 number 1 overall picks with more than 100 regular season games played before making first Super Bowl appearance. Each of the previous 4 have won the game. On the other side, Joe Burrow will be the first second-year quarterback to start the Super Bowl since Russell Wilson in 2013, Super Bowl 48. Listen to this stat. How divine intervention, say what you want. Burrow today is 25 years and 65 days old, which is the exact same age, year and day that Russell Wilson was when he won that Super Bowl.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? And you talk about, you talk about a guy in Joe Burrow, second year in the league, but dating back to college, is 7-0 in the postseason, buddy. And when you play in that tough conference he did, those are big games against really stiff competition.
Yeah.
That goes a little overlooked than what you think. That's a big factor. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, you play in some of those tough SEC crowds. You've experienced it. Both guys are SEC guys. The other interesting part, you mentioned Russell Wilson and him. Talking about two guys who came out a little bit later in the draft because they both played at two colleges.
Right.
That's another thing they have in common. Because Russell Wilson didn't start at Wisconsin.
I didn't know that. Where did he start?
You know? Why do you ask questions like that?
That's right.
I can't think off the top of my head, but he was a transfer. He was a grad student. I apologize because there was no transfer portal at that point in time. But Wisconsin was his second school.
Right.
If any of the listeners can remember, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, but it's neither here nor there. But those are kind of interesting things about your quarterbacks, and you look at. I love Burrow's demeanor. I just wonder if it might be. You never want to say a little early for the Cincinnati team, but your second year in, up and coming. I mean, you're looking at a team that won 10 games this year, and just is on this incredible run. I mean, is this looking ahead to next year? Now, regardless of what happens at Cincinnati this year, buddy, we know what they have to shore up, and that's that offensive line. Other than that, there's some other things. But is this sustainable for the Cincinnati team? We know offensively with the weapons in Burrow, you got the receivers, you got a running back, and you got the guy in the center. But is this success sustainable for the Cincinnati Bengals? In other words, regardless of what happens today, are they a team that can we look forward next year to going deep into a playoff run like they did this year?
I think you can because a lot of their best players are signed for a while, gain the experience, and are on rookie contracts, and they're going to build a little bit more through the draft. I think they're weak at corner, outside corner, and offensive line. I think that's got to be their two targets in free agency. Now, do they become a free agent destination is the question. Are they still Mike Brown's Bengals? Cheap,
right?
Not having a scouting staff, keeping guys around coaching for 15 years when they don't belong there for 15 years. Or have they changed if they turn the corner? But you got to look. You still got KC, you got Buffalo, you got them. You got Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, always a threat. A little bit with the Patriots up and coming. There's a lot of pretty good teams. And don't forget the Chargers.
Right.
There's a lot of up-and-coming teams. There's going to be a lot of great matchups next year, regular season. Regular season is going to be very important for seeding, although we're looking at 2 4 seeds in the playoffs. So they have to win games. What's that?
Is that what they do? Go ahead.
What did I say? 2
more seeds in the playoffs?
No. What I said is they were 2 4 seeds in the playoffs.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
To this point. And two things that got killed, 2 narratives that got killed during this playoff run. That Monday night game is going nowhere now because the team that won didn't crumble the next weekend on a short week. No, they're playing in the Super Bowl. It's incredible. That's a great shout out to the Rams. They went Monday at home, traveled across country, won on Sunday at the defending champs, came home and beat a team they haven't beaten in 7 games. Very impressive.
Yeah,
what else are you thinking?
That's a good point. You're right. That Monday game is not going anywhere.
Oh, and the overtime rule is going nowhere. Sorry, Buffalo. Play defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
I'm going up to Buffalo for the parade Tuesday, the wild card winner parade. It's going to be a good
Are you really?
Yeah.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Yeah. But when you look at you talk about the AFC, you let the quarterback studs for the next 10 years are in the AFC.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about Herbert. I'm going to get into that a little bit, if I may. Kind of take a little because I lived.
2 other things to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Where's Russell Wilson playing next year? Where's Aaron Rodgers playing next year? And a third, where's Tom Brady going to be next year?
There you go. Now, your thoughts on that, because we haven't talked. He retired 4 days later with Scratchy on his Monday podcast, right? he said kind of leaves the door open. And I'm looking at NFL.com, and Tampa Bay has said they haven't shut the door on him. They're looking at options after, but they're leaving the door open for Brady to come back. No, number one, if he comes back, which I really don't think he will.
It will not be with Tampa.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Agree. That was my first question.
Obviously left there for a reason.
Right.
Yeah, that's not happening.
And
I'd probably hold out paying my season ticket invoice down there if I were people.
Right. What do you think of him, first of all, leaving the door open again? Is that tell you all we need to know about Brady? I mean, maybe a little more pretentious. Maybe wants to keep the brand alive and all the stuff about family, he says. I mean, is that true? If you come out and say that, I know you want to keep the door open, but it just seemed too crazy to think that if his wife is clamoring for him to come home and be with the family, and he's with them for 4 days, and he says he may be back in the mix at some point. It just seems a little too. Maybe we're seeing the real-time Brady we never saw in New England, which is a guy who's really self-involved.
Yeah, self-indulgent, and Bill covered that up pretty well, and the organization covered that up pretty well, and a lot more freedom down there in Tampa to say and do whatever he wants to do.
Right.
But San Francisco would be on my list. Miami would be on my list because they're supposed to be building a house back down there. But supposedly she's going back to the runway. That is something I heard.
No
that
kidding.
Now it's her turn.
That leans me to believe, and I'll check with you, that he's not coming back. Correct?
That would lead me to believe he's not, unless she couldn't get what she wanted as far as a deal to go back. But she's just historic. She is to that industry what Tom is to this industry. So, I mean, I don't know a lot about models other than dating them. But
woo! Bingo! I love it.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So Joe Foran chimes in. Brady will be on Peacock TV next year on a Divas Nation. Interesting. Laura McEachern Ferreira chimes in as well. Thank you again, Lauren, and thanks, Joe. TB12 as an NFL owner? Question mark, buddy. Your thoughts?
I could see him as an owner. He's not like I've heard these crazy things. Oh, he's going to come back and be a quarterback coach.
No,
he's going to put in more time than he puts in now for about 100th of the pay.
Right.
No, he's getting away to get free. Like maybe an owner, part owner of a franchise. Yes, that fits. Maybe someday a GM down the line. But some of these cockamamie ideas, maybe you should come back and he'll help Mac Jones. Maybe they'll work on the side, during his free time. But he's not coming back to be the quarterback's coach of the New England Patriots. I'm sorry.
No. God,
that's crazy. That's beyond crazy to me.
Yeah, if you think that as a Pats fan, then you are just holding on. You are grasping at straws, man.
Like, let go. Let go. Oh, ding, 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 ding.
Oh, here we go. All right. Random question.
Most famous phone number in your phone.
Most famous person in my phone?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
Wow. They're ex-athletes.
Yeah, I got a lot of ex-athletes too.
Most famous person in my phone. Whew. Our good friend Jarvis Green.
Yep. Jarvis.
Mark Schlereth is in there.
Yep.
One of my all-time faves, and if you're a football guy like you, Howard Balzer, who's my guy.
Yeah.
Out in Arizona covering the Cardinals for SI.com. I'm trying to think of an ex-athlete. I don't think I have any ex-athletes in this phone. So those would be probably my top three right now, not just if you like necessarily in that order. But my friends are the closest.
You have Joe Foran's number.
Joe Foran, you. I mean, you guys are more important than the other guys I mentioned because we're in contact more. So, the handful of people I call good friends, you, Joe, being two of them, are the ones that are worth more to me. I'll leave it at that. As I go down sentimental alley.
Wow.
So get your tissue.
Just made my Valentine's Day. That's tomorrow, right?
That is not hyperbole, by the way. That is fact.
Wow.
I'm gonna be real here. You could have 2 or 3 close friends in your lifetime, and you are fulfilled as friends. That's my opinion on it.
I may get you a candy cane because they're on sale for tomorrow.
Please do. Can it be like a
I always try to stay a holiday behind to get the deals.
I like that.
So St. Patrick's Day, Easter, you'll get Valentine's candy. Like, stay out of the curb, save money, man.
I like that. There's a
And I
little,
celebrate Flag Day. Flag Day is a big day to me. So your Flag Day gift will be something from, the Mother's Day collection.
I like
There you
that.
go.
Yeah.
I'm not a
None of
gift
this-
person. I hate giving gifts. You know what gift is to me? Time. Concern.
No question about that. Which you
Stuff
can
like
give
that.
every day, right? Every day.
Life experience. Let's grab a dinner. That's more important to me than you buying me a shirt that I wear, once every 2 weeks.
Right. Because living in a material world was once a song by Madonna, which we do. But when it's push come to shove, you're right. It's the quality time. It's taking someone's time and thanking them for spending time with you, just because they did that. That's an investment. That's an investment you can't wrap up. You
Right.
can't put a tag on. You can't put a bow on, and you can't leave it in a mailbox.
You can't buy time. You can't buy
No,
time.
no question
Not at all.
about it.
It's going to go.
question.
It's going to keep going.
No question. But I do want to get into something after the famous person in the phone about LA, because I lived in LA. LA is a melting pot of people. It's transient. People from all over the country move to LA to do stuff. It's Hollywood. I get that. This is the sports teams in LA in rank. It's a Lakers town. It's a Dodgers town, too. And number 3, it is a USC Trojan town. That's it. The Rams and the Chargers are there, but it's never going to be a football town, in my opinion, buddy, or a city for that matter. And if the Rams win, we talked about this last night. If the Rams win a Super Bowl and it's still not a football town, then something's very wrong here. Because how did the Chargers compete with that if the Rams can't win a Super Bowl and have it become a Ram town? Because it's just, there's more to do than football out there. It's just, I don't know if it's ever going to gravitate, ever going to get that big. There wasn't a team there for so many years. And the only reason they're there now is because it's the 5th biggest media market. But that doesn't mean it's going to translate to football.
5th? I thought it was 2nd.
Maybe 2nd. Yeah, maybe 2nd. All right. At the time,
I
it
thought
was
it was New York, LA, Chicago.
I stand corrected.
Boston in the top 10. I thought LA was number 2.
Could be number 2.
No, I'm just saying I haven't done my research. I thought
it's in the
that
top
was
5.
The case.
Anyway,
Yeah.
your thoughts?
That's
your
what
thoughts
they
on
did.
that?
Yeah, they went to the media market rather than the town that would support it. That's what they did. And then they put 2 of them in there.
Yeah, that's
The same stadium.
Right.
Without air conditioning.
$5.5 billion stadium. And
No air
if you
conditioning.
huh?
No air conditioning, but a nice waterfall outside. Very beautiful waterfall.
And you're right. I mean, that's almost like forgetting to put end zone seats in, for God's sake. It's that simple. And I mean, if you're worried about the open air at each end zone and you're worried about air conditioning and a cost, what's the point of building a $5.5 billion stadium then, Stan Kroenke? Right?
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, finish the job.
It's all show, no go. So, how about this? 10 years from now, neither one of these teams is drawing crap. What 2 cities are vying for their attention?
It could be less than 10 years if that's not the case in the NFL, especially the Chargers. I mean, if you can be successful and still not draw, then you pull the plug on that, right? I mean, you have to, because no one's going to say, "Wow, I miss my Rams, I miss my Chargers." It's not going to happen. You go to a town that's going to embrace them. Charlotte.
Do they already have a team?
Yeah, what I say? Yeah, I didn't mean Charlotte. I meant wow. Could Memphis, Tennessee support one with Nashville?
No. Nope, don't see that happening. I look at what the Grizzlies draw, and it's okay, but no. San Antonio would be one for me.
Yeah.
That I would find interesting. If you're going out of the country, Toronto, obviously. Toronto or Vancouver. Either one of those be good. Oklahoma City. Not the greatest media market in the whole world. But the way they support the Thunder, I mean, those crowds and the way they're into it, it's another one. Alabama needs a pro team? No. That's the last thing Alabama wants is a pro team.
Yeah, Laura chimed in as well. That's an interesting thing, but I
No,
think
they have two pro teams, Alabama and Auburn.
Yep.
No, the USFL did not work down there.
No.
Or any of the leagues that they've tried. They do not buy professional sports down there.
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon's a good one, too. Portland, Oregon is a very, very good one. Yeah,
but you brought up a good point about 10 years down the road with these teams, and nothing's happening in LA, media market, but if not passionate fan base, if you're the NFL, you got to really consider 5 years, 3 or 4 years down the road from now, if things aren't happening, to at least start to think about life after Los Angeles.
Yeah, because if the media market, the things you want out of it is, one, conversation about the team on sports radio that's going to draw, and you build a relationship between the radio stations and the teams like they have here. That doesn't look like it's going to happen with either one of these teams.
Right.
So what are we excited about the media market that we can put games on TV and say, ooh, they're from LA? Like, what are they truly drawing out of this? That's what I'm curious about.
The buzz for the Super Bowl. They are in a big media market. They're also in a rabid fan base, Cincinnati. It seems like there's less buzz about this. Obviously, we're in New England here, so the Patriots are usually in the mix at some point in the conversation. But if you're looking at Kansas City against the Rams, be a bigger deal, wouldn't it, right now?
Yeah, it might be, but I think you're going to be kind of surprised by how many people from Ohio are going to show up.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm not. I guess my point is, buddy, the Rams side of it. The Rams, with all their cachet, with the star-studded with LA, they can't carry the load by themselves.
No, and I do. And you know what's going to annoy me tonight? And they do this with the Lakers. It's like the celebrities who are there. Like, I don't care who's there. I don't care. I want to watch the game. I care more about my friends who are at the game than I do about, oh, Magic Johnson's here, or so-and-so's here. Like, is that what you're selling me? That's what you're trying to push upon me, that Magic Johnson's at the game.
Right.
What am I going to do? Like, sell everything I own to try to get in the luxury suite with him and say hi? I mean, what are you selling me?
Well, I think tonight is as much about promoting football. Tonight about the NFL is promoting the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So they're going to force that down our throats. And we're going to say, oh, wow, here we go. Look at all the stars out there. They're going to make LA seem like the place to be for every NFL team. Let's be there. Let's create this atmosphere because all the glitz and glamour is out here. But that's not going to wash. It may wash in the NBA because it seems like in Miami can kind of do that same sort of thing with the cachet, with the climate, with the area, with South Beach. It's not going to wash in the NFL. The NFL has a hardcore fan base, a blue-collar fan base that can't even imagine and doesn't even really appreciate all the glitz and glamour in LA. Like you said, who cares about that, right? I don't care about it. I lived there for 5 years.
Not even a little bit. Michael Buffer announcing it. I don't care about any of it. None of that does anything for me. And I don't think they should have a team, never mind two.
Right.
You know, there's better places they could have been with better support that may not be the media market. You know what? They'd be better markets.
Right.
They'd be drawing. They'd be selling season tickets and PSLs and luxury suites to companies because they're not super companies or super artists. I'm sure they sell out all their luxury suites there. Tremendous, Stan Kroenke. There's nobody in the stands cheering.
Right.
That's
even during the year, even during the season, right? The San Francisco game. What was the talk of that? The talk all week long before that matchup was how many Niners fans are going to be there as opposed to Rams fans. How much red and gold is going to be there in a playoff game? I mean, so what do you think is going to happen during a regular season game?
Oh yeah, they pack it. They pack it. It's just, yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. Just not. And it was kind of put in a good way last week. This is like celebrities against your factory workers. And I'm always going to side with your factory workers.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I'll
I like
always
that
go
because
with
I think
people
you
who
and I are
work
both
hard.
of that ilk. So,
Yeah.
all right, prediction
Oh.
time.
Question time?
Oh, another one?
Yeah.
Go
I got
ahead.
5. I got 5 today. All right. Question for Chips. You get 1 week of driving any car of your choosing. What are you picking?
Jesus Christ.
I'm
Wait,
good with these,
Lamborghini would
huh?
be one, but you know what? There's got to be a DeLorean out there I can drive. There's got to be a DeLorean somewhere. Somewhere. But living in California, you see a lot of cars. I guess one that tops off the page, I love Chevy Novas. I love
Yeah.
Chevy Novas.
It's not the first time you've said that.
No, I'm a big Chevy Nova fan. My buddy used to, kind of remake them, restore them in California, and I just fell in love with that car. He had one. I get to drive it a little bit outside of my little Toyota Tercel back then. But hey, I don't need a glitzy car. Give me a Chevy Nova, little souped up in the back with some mags. I'm done.
Nice. Good answer. Good answer.
Chevy Nova.
Where were you
Baby.
going to jump next? Because I only have one more question for you.
What'd you say? I just wanted to get our predictions because we're about an hour and some odd in.
Yeah,
And we talked about everything.
But I think we're interesting. We're drawing. We got a lot of people watching, so I can see overall the venues of what everybody's watching. We're doing pretty well right now.
Oh, definitely.
Predictions. Oh, go ahead, dude.
One little. You talk about Stafford and Burrow. 31 combined interceptions during the regular season, most by opposing starting quarterbacks in a Super Bowl since Kurt Warner.
Marvin Bledsoe. No.
Nope.
Okay.
Kurt Warner, Tom Brady in 2001, who had a combined 34.
Wow. Okay.
So, talk about the QB matchups.
Yeah, very interesting. Oh, I just have the feeling they have a 2001 vibe about them. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to win this game. I don't know that McPherson's going to kick the field goal at the end of the game, but it's going to be his points that are the difference.
It has to be, right, if they're going to win with what it's been up to this point.
I love the way, because you've seen it all year, Cincinnati's been down in games. They adjust well late, and they're not afraid to put the ball in Burrow's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Rams will be a little bit more afraid to put it in their quarterback's hands than Joe Burrow. I think this is Joe Burrow's year. I think this is McPherson's year. And I think this is just a moment we wake up tomorrow when we go, oh my God, the Cincinnati Bengals won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Like the Cincinnati freaking Bengals won the Super Bowl. I think we're all going to wake up with that tomorrow. And the super team thing does not work in the NFL. It has not worked when Daniel Snyder tried it back in 2000, 99, right through. It just has not worked.
Boy, I'll tell you, I'm rooting for Cincinnati, but I think it's going to be a double-digit win by the Rams. I think it's going to be a little too much. I think it's their time. I think the time to come for the Bengals will be in the future. I think they're a team on the come. I can see both of these teams with some of the free agent stuff, maybe not even making the playoffs next year. But having with the 7 seed, that's interesting as well. But I like the Rams today, buddy. I think it's going to be Stafford's time. I think the defense is going to show up. And, I agree with you. It doesn't work in the NFL. But the Rams need to win today because if they don't, you're looking at a team that's mortgaged their freaking future for the next 5-6 years to not come this far. And it doesn't mean they're going to get there this next year. I think it's the Rams' time to win. I want it to be a close game, but I think it's going to be a 10-point win by the Rams. Couple of interesting tidbits. The designated home team, which is the Bengals, is 22-32 in Super Bowls. They've lost 11 of the last 15. And for your quirkiest of quirkiest, teams wearing white jerseys have won 14 of the last 17 Super Bowls. And I think the Bengals are wearing all black. But those are just kind of fodders for discussion. But you know what? If your team's not in it, you root for the underdog. And I'm rooting like hard for Cincinnati because I love Burrow's demeanor because he's walking that fine line of confident and cocky. And the team feeds off of this dude. Mm-hmm. And if he wins a Super Bowl, he's going to be the flavor because he is all the talk leading up to the Super Bowl. and I'm rooting for Burrow. I like it. The LSU connection is great, but I just think the Rams have a little too much to go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be a great game. I think this is a great X's and O's matchup.
Yeah.
Young coaches, see what the adjustments are, see what the plan of attack is. I think this goes right down to the last 7 minutes of this game. Absolutely does. I'll be shocked if it's a blowout either way. I really will.
Yeah.
I think it'll take a lot to be a blowout either way.
And when we mentioned, which you have earlier in the broadcast, the humidity, the temperature, that levels the playing field in many ways, lead you to a closer game. And I wonder if that factored in, because when I was going into this for today, I'm thinking, okay, if Cincinnati wins today, it'll be the biggest win since the Pats beat the Rams, not by a point differential, not by a a 14-point underdog differential, but just the fact that the Rams are the flashy team and the Bengals are the upstart team, only 4-point underdogs. But do you think that that's part of it? If the Bengals win today, how it's a bigger upset than just the point spread?
Yeah,
Okay.
especially with the way that the team was built. This to me, it just hit me now. You know what this is? This is the 2004 NBA Finals, Detroit Pistons against LA Lakers.
Good point.
That's what this is. Like the team against the stars. And we all know what happened there, and I just have a feeling the team wins again.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can compare it to. It just hit me now, but
right. That's a good That's a real good comparison. In a different sport, because sometimes you really can't compare. But that's really good because Detroit came out of nowhere and they beat the mighty Lakers. Right. I agree with you, Totally. That's a really good comparison.
That would be that'd be my comparison. All right, my last question. So if the guys from Old School and Joe, hope everything went well, no ticket, whatever, they told him to turn his lights on. Did you read his comment?
He was pulled over. They told him to turn his lights on. Is that kind of weird?
No, not in this weather, but that's a lot. That's a ball buster. Like maybe they go behind you and flash you or something just to get you to turn your lights on, but they actually pull you over. In the snow. So now he's on the side of the road. Now you got everybody moving over, and it's slippery roads. Not the smartest move.
Right.
Sorry.
But how bad? How bad is it out there? That's the thing. It's not like it's torrential, is it?
I'm just looking outside, and there's animals outside, and that's why it starts going nuts. And it just started snowing again here in beautiful Westport. Yeah, I didn't see snow for 10 days. I didn't miss it.
Yeah, so it might be slick enough too.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you want him to have his lights on, but there's other ways. There's other ways of
going
about it.
Were they going to give him a warning?
Sorry to my police friends, but I'm not sure I agree with that one. That becomes a safety issue.
Yeah, it's snowing, and Laura said it's snowing in Wareham. I was going to go see my son today, but I mean, we're spending the day together. But and he called me. That's my phone on earlier, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do because it's still coming down here in Pawtucket. My car's not the best in the snow, but I don't know how bad it's going to be. We weren't forecast for a lot, but who the hell knows?
Yeah, I door dashed everything, so I'm hunkered in.
Better boy.
Food to cook, something for the air fryer, something for the stove. So, just gonna hunker down. Probably gonna work the rest of the day. I got to start on NFL draft, man.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and your draft is good stuff. It's on E2Gsports.com. We have a lot of good stuff. A couple of baseball things by Murph. Basketball in the NBA. The triple threat show. So a lot going on here as we kind of exit the football season and enter the world of the draft, the world of baseball. Knock on wood, and the NBA as the season. After the All-Star break, it's a fight for the season, and it's a fight to the finish with the Celtics and everything else. But lots going on E2Gsports.com is what I meant to say. All right, another question.
My last one for you. Has the Old School crew got you into watching wrestling again?
Yeah, they have.
Are you watching AEW?
Not as much AEW. Go ahead.
Have you seen this guy, MJF?
I have not. I have to confess. I have not.
My God.
Tell me about him.
YouTube. He is the best heel I've seen since when The Rock was a heel. This kid is going places. He's 25 years old.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Yeah, just YouTube some of his stuff and the things he says. and he holds character. I've seen him break character once. He was in the paper last year for flipping off a 7-year-old kid in an autograph session. Because this is his character. Like, he thinks he's better than everybody else, and the way he carries himself, and he's like that old school heel who lets all his friends do all the beating up, and he takes the credit for it.
Right,
he's
right.
like arrogant, and like, dude, he is one of the funny. He's one of those people I think I would drive 200 miles to go get a picture with, to have him flip me off and tell me I'm fat. It would be like a dream come true to me. Yeah, you gotta watch some of the clips on this guy. This guy is, I mean, yeah, there's no bounds. There's no bounds with him.
I will check him out too. And like, and you mentioned the best heel you've witnessed since The Rock, correct?
Since The Rock, he's better than Edge was as a heel. He's better than Randy Orton was as a heel. This guy, and he's from Long Island, so he talks about Long Island like it's the greatest place. So when they wrestled in Long Island, he got cheered. So it was so weird, but the announcers hate him so much. Like Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone hate him. Like that, like he's the worst human being on the planet. And
Jim Ross is great. Let me ask you a question then. I posed it to the guys on Old School Show. I said, and JC is a big JC, John Crow, our buddy John Crow and Joe. Yep. They go on their little tangent at the end, and I'm kind of going into the classroom and learning a little bit more, getting myself involved into wrestling more so each week. But I posed a question to him one time because he talked about the struggling WWE and what they need to do to kind of grab some of those headlines back. Is there, and they kind of poo-pooed it. Can you bring back Rock as a heel without tarnishing his good guy image and what all he's doing outside of the wrestling ring?
It's too late.
You think so?
Yeah, it's too late.
The court of public opinion would not.
No, nope. People would not boo him. I mean, remember when he was the heel, and eventually, like, even it got to the point he wrestled Austin at WrestleMania in Philadelphia in '99.
Yeah,
and they were kind of both being cheered. And then the moment they were able to move back was that 2002 WrestleMania in Toronto, where he wrestled Hogan, and the fans totally took over the show and were cheering Hogan in his NWO gear against The Rock, and they were trying to like flip script on the fly. Like both of them are looking at each other like, what the hell is going on here?
Right.
That was one of, like, as a wrestling fan who enjoys like the theatrics of that, I liked how they pulled that off, like flipping in the ring who was the heel and who was the baby. It was great because they got put into a spot, man. But no, I'll give you some time to check this guy out.
Oh, definitely.
He does cameo, but he charges $500 a cameo.
Oh, jeez.
Just to be a jerk. And, his
a heel you can root for.
I want to see if. I want to see if I can do this. If we can actually hear it. Just to share a little bit of the let me know if you can hear this.
All right.
Years on God's green earth, pretty much.
Can you hear that?
What's up, Scooby-Doo?
All right. This is 4 minutes of MJF. It's only 2 minutes. And they'll probably cut us off, but this is him calling people. This is his complete persona and who he is. We're going to start right at the beginning.
What's up, Scooby-Dooby douchebag? I know you want to have a match. You want to have a match with MJF, go one-on-one. Well, here's the thing. That's not going to happen. Allow me to tell you why. It's because you, sir, are a Mark fanboy who got lost in a party city and picked out the cheapest costume they could have. I, on the other hand, am a top-tier professional athlete. You wouldn't stand a chance against me. You don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, and Bud, you're going to die alone and a virgin, and not even fleas will mourn your death. Good day, sir. Sam. Right now, I'm making a cameo for you because, let's face it, your life's boring. You haven't amounted to much, and after 26 years on God's green earth, you pretty much have nothing to show for it. And then there's me, quite possibly the greatest professional wrestler in the history of the sport, and I'm only 24 years old. So basically what I'm doing here on this cameo, Sam, is I'm telling you to wake the fuck up, bud, because you don't have much time left on this planet. And if you want to get anywhere near close to being as successful as me, you better realize... I'm just kidding. It's never going to fucking happen, you loser. I'm better than you and you know it.
And that's the heel character he plays.
My God, he doesn't sound like he's from Long Island, but he sounds good with the mic, and that's what you need in that business.
He's incredible on the mic. He came out in Dallas, and they were booing him, and he's just like, "You got a problem with me, Texas?" He goes, "Hey,
That's
Texas,
awesome.
you're." I can't repeat it.
Yeah, it's a family show.
Yeah. Well, this was on TV, so.
Well, now I have to watch it. The other, so you turned me on to that. Now I got to at least YouTube this guy and watch.
Oh yeah, like his autograph signings. Like there's a kid in a wheelchair, and he's like making fun of the kid in the wheelchair, but you can tell it's totally it's staged. You can tell, but he holds his character so well.
That's what you do. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Maxwell T. Friedman.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Oh, Jacob Friedman, right? Yeah.
MJF.
MJF.
So yeah, that's everybody's project. Enjoy some MJF on YouTube.
MJF. And it's only 5'11". Doesn't matter.
He was a middle linebacker. He got into a Division II school. He has the all-time tackles record on Long Island for a linebacker in a season. Yeah, he's a really good athlete. Very good athlete.
Do you know his debut was this day in 2015?
No kidding.
Yep.
Think of where he's gone.
7 years ago today, he debuted.
That's pretty
so he
awesome.
Was what? He's 24, 25?
He's 26 now, I think. So he was like 19.
18. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He had some scholarship offers to some good schools to go play football.
Right.
But no, he's going to be a free agent in 2024, and he is going to get paid.
No question about that. Yeah, that's good. And that is part and parcel why AEW is really putting the clamps and the pressure on the WWE, because that's it. I mean,
yeah.
All right. Good stuff, man.
Wrap it up. Maybe we'll do a show tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, perhaps.
10 to 12 tomorrow, Eastern time. First formation. Trey and Bishop. They may talk about the Super Bowl. I know they were going to talk about some tennis tournament in New Zealand, but we'll see if they'll talk a little Super Bowl too.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do curling at the Olympics, but that's okay.
Yeah, a good breakdown of curling. Nothing like
good stuff.
Notice how when curling comes out, everybody thinks it's the greatest thing and then forgets about it for 3.5 years?
Of course.
Oh, get my friends together. We're going to go curling.
No, of course. I know.
Oh,
That's what you're doing.
I've been hearing this since 2000. No, you're not.
It's good to watch, but in small doses, right? If we had to watch that every year, it probably wouldn't have the novelty it does now. But it's kind of cool from an aesthetic standpoint.
Yeah, it spends its like 3 months where it's very popular. Mm-hmm. These ice rinks probably bank on it, and then everybody forgets about it.
Exactly.
So,
but hopefully they don't forget about us.
Yeah, don't forget about us here at E2G Sports. And Sean Thornton, 12 days, Scotty's Pub. Can't wait.
Yep.
We got a meeting tomorrow to finalize everything. And jacked and pumped, man.
Well, sounds good. Awesome.
All right.
That's going to do it.
And this is the new E2G founder. At E2G founder is the new Twitter handle.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, I cut me off.
All right, Budster. That's about it. Hey, to everyone out there, thanks for your comments. Buddy Andrade, Johnny Sunchips, we always appreciate you. Appreciate your work. Appreciate you're looking at our work and stuff. And any comments or questions, any feedback, we're always welcome to that. Follow us on the social, e2bsports.com. We are the Unsung Sports Grid. For Buddy Andrade, I'm Johnny Sunchips. Have a great Super Sunday, everybody.